Fantasy marks the arrival of massively multiplayer online RPGs to Xbox and takes place in a gigantic universe of people, places and challenges. It's all about building a character and making a life for them online. Firstly by defining a look, then picking a work path for your online existence. From here on you're free to take on quests and challenges to increase your character's skill level and community standing, giving you the most developed, loved or feared character in all of the true fantasy world. And to keep it from going stale, new locations and upgrades will be downloadable via Xbox Live, which could make this a game you end up playing for the rest of your life. Not quite old enough to play with sniper rifles and quietly executed assassinations? Then how about collecting Scooby snacks instead? Mystery Mayhem is a nice platformer for perfectly behaved youngsters and leaps straight into the world of mysteries and strange goings-on, where a fairly decent representation of Scooby and the gang bound through an array of levels that are very much of the ordinary. Yes, it's running, jumping and gap leaping all the way, but there should be enough nice new touches to construct a reasonable enough case for it being a decent game.
Walter Peabody?
And I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you meddling kids and your pesky dog.
Phantom Dust is another typically Japanese title, and once again it's all about finding large monsters and blasting the bejesus out of them. The power of destruction is obviously the main draw, with lots of jumping around crumbling arenas and piling in the magic attacks. But if that's not enough for you, then full Xbox Live support with 4-player action should help to win your affections. Magatama is just about as Japanese as games can get and guarantees medieval monster action in the traditional Onimusha style. Set in an alternative universe, your samurai chappie finds himself at the centre of a major conflict between warring sides, which basically means you get to kill everything in sight and destroy loads of buildings in the process. We'll bring you more soon. If Dungeons & Dragons is your kind of thing, chances are you're already a big fan of the excellent Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, the other Xbox D&D game. In Heroes, you go on quests, enter dungeons, slay monsters and collect treasure, and you'll soon realise that this isn't so much a pastiche of Dark Alliance as exactly the bloody same, right down to the gorgeous rippling water effects. But Heroes does make use of the all-new 3rd edition D&D ruling system to help capture the tabletop role-playing game feel of the original. This clearly works well for the multiplayer mode, creating a distinct D&D flavour as you cleave your way through orcs, trolls and zombies with your fellow team members, avoiding traps and swapping weapons as you go. Each of the 4 characters, human fighter, elf sorceress, dwarf cleric and halfling rogue, has a range of muscle-flexing skills. These must be bought first, however, using the experience you've gained thus far. Spells are the most obvious area to be improved upon, along with bow skills, weapon proficiencies and a huge range of fearsome finishing moves. Ultimately, it's all about killing monsters, gaining the experience to become even stronger, and then killing even more powerful monsters. It's quite entertaining in its own right, but fancy new spells and skills aside, D&D Heroes doesn't really have much else to offer over Dark Alliance, except for its superb multiplayer mode. It's a joy to pick up if you've got the friends to spare, but as a solo effort it's less appealing and soon becomes tiresome. Atari should have made it playable on Xbox Live too, but since they didn't bother, our affection towards this soulless button basher has slightly lost its warmth. NBA Live 2004 is EA's most accurate basketball game in terms of stats, teams, players and stadiums.
Second shot is good.
You can pick an official team and play a full season, head back in time and pick old lineups in the Dynasty mode, or build a team of fresh-faced college beanpoles right from the off, as NBA Live 2004 boasts more players than any of its closest rivals.
With the pull-up, shot clock is down to 5. This is from just inside the arc. Counted for 2.
As for the gameplay itself, the pace is as fast as you would expect, and selecting individual players is fluid enough and hassle-free.
The opposing player is a tough shot.
I like the way the crowd cheer when I lay it up. Like EA Sports, I'm in the game and play it I'm about to take it to the...
There should be no shortage of transition baskets. These teams both rely on.
The FIFA-style passing system, which highlights potential receivers with button icons, is used to good effect, and there's some genuinely rewarding tricks to be mastered.
I got hops, watch me dunk it in your grill. Ask anybody about me, they gon' say he got skills when I'm on the field. It's all respect. Half-court shot switch, look, nothing but net.
The replay option is simply stunning and even beats FIFA in terms of how detailed each player looks.
Dive. Richard Jefferson throws it down.
Kid with a heads-up play. He recognized the advantage and got him the ball up court for the basket.
Prater sends it back.
He read the offensive play.
Favouring realism over the arcade-style shootouts of the NBA Street Series, NBA Live 2004 is a perfect conversion of the whole sport, and EA have made a fabulous effort to recreate the big match feel of each game. If you really enjoy the sport of basketball, then this is the most playable and authentic game to date.
What you do.
Let's roll!
Previous Simpsons outings have always copied popular gaming themes and inserted the most popular animated family in history. Simpsons Road Rage, for instance, jumped onto the Crazy Taxi bandwagon, and Simpsons Skateboarding was a blatant Tony Hawk ripoff. Unsurprisingly, both titles were equally rubbish.
I have no insurance.
Next up for replication is the whole GTA Vice City thing, and Hit and Run allows you to drive around and generally cause mayhem by stealing school buses and running over innocent pedestrians.
Bartman! I didn't do it.
Eat my dust.
You can steal cars and break things, but the line is drawn when it comes to murderous killing sprees, and the whole episode is based around humor rather than violence.
I'll get you, Bart, just like I got Charlie and Nam.
Afraid not.
Afraid so.
Afraid not.
Afraid so. Oh, damn your lightning-fast wit.
Mistakes were made.
There's plenty of appearances from every Simpsons character, complete with voiceovers and animation, which mimics the cartoon perfectly.
You jerk, I have puppies in this car.
As soon as I'm done scratching myself, you're history.
What's more, this basic romp through Springfield is a genuinely amusing game with plenty of in-jokes and easy challenges for younger or more casual gamers.
Homer hates losing. Homer smash.
This is the worst.
Is this going to affect my insurance?
Hey, doggies! How about that, Smarts?
Whee!
I'm scared and disoriented.
Make like my pants and spit.
Loser.
Silence. I must get this comic into a Mylar bag before it deteriorates into near mint condition. Heaven forfend.
Beat it, you bum!
Oh man, that sucks and blows.
I have road rage and I know how to use it.
Go!
According to publisher IDOS, backyard wrestling is a controversial and shocking US phenomenon, and quite right they are too. Stare in disbelief as rough peroxide blondes prance around in someone's back garden, throwing overweight men into garden furniture, smashing dustbins into people's faces, and then peeling their kit off at the end of it all. And they call this sport?
You're going home a loser, lol.
Yes, the humble backyard has now become the optimum venue for all kinds of morally borderline antics, and the whole phenomenon is so sensationally wrong. As an inspiring young wrestler, you have the chance to take on some of the dirtiest fighting wrestlers in the cheaper side of entertainment. And while it's labelled a wrestling game, Backyard is more akin to a fighting game with grappling elements thrown in for good measure. A 3-step height system determines which maneuvers you can perform, depending on your current position. Jump off a table, for example, and you'll crush your foe with a simple leg drop. Take it up to the 3rd level by climbing onto the top of a prefabricated house, and you can leap off in your badly fitted leotard and really do some damage. The open arenas leave very little to the imagination when it comes to pulling off moves and utilising the handy equipment at your disposal. You can romp on a dirty mattress, opting to simply rub your groin region into your opponent's face. Or you can really go to work on those calendar models with baseball bats, folded chairs, pot plants, and even barbed wire. You can also set your opponents on fire if you really want to be labelled hardcore. Blood and breasts are the two main ingredients that make backyard wrestling distressingly compelling. It's violent, kitsch, brimming with silicone, and if you're slightly unbalanced and enjoy doing stupid things in your own squalid surroundings, then you might enjoy the insane notoriety that backyard wrestling has to offer. But please take note of the get out clause that IDOS have thoughtfully included in the title, and don't try this at home.
Come back when you have training!
I am Madame Charmaine, your creator. Find me before it's too late. I am in the clutches of Cosmo the Inscrutable. Remember, you are a voodoo doll, so many dangerous things will not hurt you. Just beware of evil magic. Cosmo and his monsters can do you great harm. Gather all the zombie dust you can. Defeat all the monsters you can. I will try to help through the link we share, but all depends on you, Vince.
Okay. Holy internal organ damage!
Voodoo Vince is all about kicking your own tattered voodoo doll hide to achieve victory as you embark on a quest to find the whereabouts of your missing keeper, Madame Charmaine.
We have some lovely parting gifts.
With typical platforming flair, Vince can punch, spin, slam and double jump his way around the New Orleans-styled areas, collecting magic orbs to power up his voodoo meter and spell pages to help conjure up the necessary powers. Vince can trigger his voodoo powers once the meter is filled to capacity, and these powers unleash a flurry of amusing antics. Vince can impale himself on hatpins, endure an attack from aliens, stab himself in the eye with scissors, and dissect himself with a chainsaw. Each specific attack will dispatch your lingering foes with amusing variety, and the riotous boss battle sequences up the self-abuse ante even further. The whole outing oozes character, with its twisted, sarcastic humour, and the cranky level design is far removed from the standard set of blocks and obstacles which most platformers construct a lesser challenge around. Beyond this, there's not a great deal of innovation, and while Bleep Industries have given us an outstanding first effort, we're unfortunately left wanting much, much more.
Like, let's shake it, Daddy-O.
We can't help but feel that the whole idea of injuring Vince to affect your enemies could have been explored a bit further, instead of just settling for the basic button-bashing approach of filling up your power meter. The lack of any decent save feature hurts too, and like most platformers, there's very little replay value beyond your first time round, even with all the bonus extras to play for. Still, this doesn't make it a bad game overall, and platform-style fans will take vast amounts of pleasure impaling themselves on this charming, highly polished romp.
I'm okay.
You're tuned to Radio Big. I'm DJ Atomica, the eyes and ears of SSX for spectators and competitors alike. Broadcasting live from my nifty little sound booth with access to over 262 mountain cams.
SXX3 is all about the mountain and the freedom to explore any part of it. One giant peak that even St. Edmund Hillary himself would have second thoughts about, transformed into the biggest powdery white playground known to man.
Bonding with the big time!
But big doesn't always necessarily mean better, which is why SXX3 wisely splits each peak into smaller, more manageable chunks. Board your way down the slopes and you'll be offered various challenges and set races, completion of which provides access to the higher slopes until you're eventually able to do the entire mountain in one single glorious run. It's not just the mountain that's big though, and everything about the SXX3's trip is exaggerated to the max, and there's good reason for this lack of realism. The higher you jump, the more time you have to pull off the assortment of tricks and spins on offer. and the more tricks you perform, the more your trick bar powers up, which in turn allows you to pull off the spectacular uber tricks. All this spectacular showmanship showers you with money, which can then go towards new equipment, raising your snowboarder's stats and changing your general appearance. 6 previous characters make a return, along with 4 new ones, including the lovely Allegra, by far the feistiest new entry to the SXX series. And you get shedloads of tricks and stunts to perform, including new Ubers and the Tony Hawk-esque hand plant system, which helps to keep things fresh. Plus, you can bop along to Radio SXX, featuring all the customary hip soundtracks. As with all EA Sports' big titles, SXX3 sports plenty of graphical gloss, but what's really lacking is a smattering of real innovation. SXX Tricky was brilliant, but this all feels a bit too similar. There's no denying that it's a worthy and entertaining snowboarding game that can happily sit side by side with Microsoft's AMP2. It's less realistic, but definitely more fun. Whatever your gaming preference, you can't deny that the Tony Hawk series is one of the most entertaining extreme sports experiences ever devised. And with Tony's latest underground jaunt fast approaching, video game skating is about to rock once more. Or, in the case of Ubisoft's Rolling, roll along, then fall over legs akimbo. You see, rolling is actually based on inline skating rather than skateboarding. But every aspect, from the skatepark editor, tricks, challenges, and even the option to customize your skater, is culled directly from the Tony Hawk series. Even the tried and tested controls have been adopted badly. In fact, the only thing that's missing is a skateboard. And unfortunately, that's where the problems begin. For starters, it's difficult to turn at speed, and because the environments are a bit on the small side, there are more than a few embarrassing moments where you'll run straight into a wall after landing a huge leap.
Easing your pain so much it hurts. With megahertz, that be blowing up your headphones, I'm amped.
The whole sensation of inline skating just isn't captured fully enough here because the control system is a poor imitation of a method designed for skateboarding.
Blowing up your headphones, I'm amped.
When it comes to tricks, the most spectacular sequences sees your skater leap, enter the fetal position and spin around a bit. It's hardly the most jaw-dropping of feats, and in a final bid to appeal to Tony Hawk fans and make roller skates seem cool, there's a huge amount of licensed gear and a half-decent soundtrack. But ultimately, the flawed control system spoils an already pretty average Tony Hawk clone, and the grimy visuals and a complete lack of originality mean we'd rather head elsewhere for our skate thrills. It's taken a while, but 13's comic book chic has finally won us over, with a finely tuned story, gameplay clues, and good old-fashioned violence. Not only has Mr. 13 lost his memory, but he's also officially dead, according to the FBI, who've just arrested you for murdering the US president. We're not going to pretend we understand it all, but the twists and turns and the way the plot's revealed in bite-sized flashbacks are superb and make a huge difference to the atmosphere. If it wasn't for the swish animated style and superior storytelling aspect, 13 would be a pretty regular trip. You run, you shoot, you solve puzzles, and the mission objectives soon become unbelievably familiar as you seek out fuses for electrical devices and end up doing what you've done countless times before in virtually every other shooting game imaginable.
Don't move!
Shooting game.
Don't hurt me!
The controls are also as standard as the problems you face. Moving about and shooting with accuracy can be a little cumbersome at times, and selecting items via the D-pad can be a bit sluggish, so you can expect to die a few times as you fumble around for a health pack in the heat of battle.
Yes! I will continue the work that my brother William started! And yes, there will once again be a Sheridan in the White House!
Otherwise, 13 plays pretty well, and everything moves along quickly enough, despite the plot losing its initial focus after a while. The standard stealth radar is replaced by a much more stylish device which illustrates your enemy's footfalls, showing you which way they're heading. The comic book panels that pop up when you expire someone are a great touch also, and it's this stylish presentation which really elevates 13 above the competition. Everything from the sinister storyline to the action is given a fresh lick of paint, thanks to those distinctive cel-shaded graphics and comic book reference. 13 is definitely one of this year's most stylish games for sure, and the comprehensive multiplayer and Xbox Live options help lift the game further from the shoot-'em-up norm. In an alternate universe, the mighty US is crumbling under the weight of a Great Depression. Microsoft has done away with roads and thieving airborne criminals rule the skies. In every possible essence, Crimson Skies is an arcade game, and thanks to one small innovation, it's extremely user-friendly. You take to the skies and avoid crashing into things by bending around the analog sticks. There's a turbo option to make use of if you're brave enough, but that drains away your special power meter. This comes in handy when you need to perform high-flying aerial acrobatics, and you're able to flip your plane about 180 degrees and face the other way in a flash. This helps loads and really cuts down on the aimless spinning about of most aerial combat games. As Nathan polices the skies, your sidekick at Base of Operations will update you on mission objectives. These often involve the reclamation of stolen Zeppelins or tracking down some good-for-nothing pirate. But to avoid any confusion when it comes to identifying a hulking great sky fortress, a handy compass points out your objectives in blue, enemies in red, and friendly gun emplacements in green. It's a simple enough system and one that works well enough. Below par story aside, there's nothing really wrong with Crimson Skies overall. It all looks superb, plays well enough, and is actually rather good online, but it's just about as standard as 3D aerial shooters can get. You fly for a bit, shoot, get out and man a gun turret, then go fly and shoot yet more. but if that's really what you're after, it'll do you fine. Travel back to the Roman Empire in Gladiator: Sword of Vengeance. Inspired by movies such as Spartacus, Ben-Hur, and of course Gladiator, this mythological historical romp will take you through the gore-soaked streets of Rome in an effort to save the empire from the decadence of the ruling elite. After the unfortunate demise of the ever-popular Emperor Trajan, Rome is now ruled by the despotic Emperor Aruntius, a ruler who seems intent on bringing this once great city to its knees. Now, with large portions of the city in ruins, the stage is set for the bloodiest gladiatorial event ever, and our hero steps up to the challenge. The aim of the game is to keep moving, and as such there's no means to block an attack. Your only defensive option is to roll clear of the melee, leaving you free to come charging straight back in for maximum carnage. Do so with one of the many combo attacks and finish off a stunned opponent with a spectacularly gory coup de grace, and you can be sure to get that blood meter well up there. Of course, there are a wide variety of opponents to face, and the more you kill, the more abilities and fancy moves you'll be able to learn, which in turn means more efficient slayage and a general increase in the body count. And after all, that's what the people want. Play the crowd and you'll soon be the people's favourite. EA's latest Need for Speed game is based on the slightly seedy world of urban street racing. And if you're thinking blatant rip-off of the Fast and the Furious, then you'd be right. Rather than come up with a new spin for its age-old Need for Speed series, EA has plundered just about every aspect of the underground racing scene going, and the result is a very slick racer full of high-speed performance cars and mad joyriding action. But despite the change in scene, Underground still remains true to its arcade roots. The handling is still closer to Sega Rally's drift cornering school of gaming than a real driving simulation, but in keeping with the whole street racing ethos, there's now a much bigger emphasis on customizing your vehicle than we've perhaps seen in the Need for Speed series before. With serious fashion sense, you can now lose yourself amongst changeable body kits, while tuning freaks are in for a real treat thanks to the hundreds of specially licensed parts from a list of notable spares manufacturers. Getting your hands on such high-tech kit costs money though, and therein lies the point of Underground's race meets. The whole racing for money angle is typical of the Gran Turismo concept. Underground isn't just about raking in the cash for first prize. There are specific challenges to be taken on as well, and the rewards are numerous, including bonus cash, hidden vehicles, and reputation-enhancing status boosts. So far the potential looks great, and with the official Fast and the Furious game still looking a long way from being a killer prospect, this effort from EA could perfectly fill the Underground racing hole when it finally arrives. Kameo Elements of Power has finally been rescued from the void of game development hell, and this new slice of the action shows just how great it all looks. Kameo is some kind of shape-shifting fairy princess who captures juvenile monsters, nurtures them into adulthood, and then unleashes them into battle to help her improve ancestors. But those of you with a fairy fetish can weep in frustration, as Kameo Elements of Power won't be playable until early 2004, and there's still no word yet regarding Xbox Live features either. Naturally, we'll keep you posted on the latest developments over the coming months.
Silence. All fighters, defensive formation. Oh, it's an ambush. We've got to warn the Galactica. Communications are being jammed.
There's too many of them.
Multiple Cylon targets inbound. Respond, please. I'm hit!
Battlestar Galactica is set to return to our screens this December, courtesy of the Sci-Fi Channel, complete with a whole new facelift. Set prior to the events of the original series, we'll get to see the adventures of a young Adama and an even younger Apollo and Starbuck. Time to coincide with this, Warthog are presenting us with the chance to take up Adama's role and fly against the insidious Cylon menace in person. Despite the new series controversially meddling with some elements of the original story, the plot remains fundamentally unchanged. Bent on wiping out humanity, the cybernetic Cylon forces all but destroy the 12 tribes of humanity. Now the Battlestar Galactica leads a ragtag fleet bearing the last remnants of human civilization in a desperate search to find a mythical planet called Earth, home of the legendary 13th tribe. Flying as a 21-year-old Adama, there are plenty of different ships to master, starting with the classic, highly maneuverable Viper. One interesting addition to the craft is the introduction of a versatile missile system. Here you can independently configure 4 different attributes: speed, power, agility, and blast radius, creating 36 different types of missiles. This comes in handy when missions vary from dogfighting with a swarm of acrobatic fighters to going head-to-head with a Cylon carrier. Warthog have put some thought into the controls as well. Apart from the basic flight controls you'd expect, there's also a quick evasive roll, perfect for swiftly getting out of the way when every Cylon in the sky decides to take a shot at you. And if you want to show off, there's a very impressive move, spinning your ship through 180 degrees while still continuing your forward momentum. Stunning, effective, but a brute to actually pull off. Dozens of AI craft can happily dogfight around the gigantic capital ships, making for some spectacular space battles. These highly detailed Leviathans can even suffer damage thanks to various destructible objects such as turrets, cannons, and engines. And as Adama progresses through the story, his success will provide the opportunity to command, giving you control over 3 wingmen whose experience and skills grow as time goes on. Battlestar Galactica is due to hit UK shelves on the 28th of November, 10 days before the new series starts on the Sci-Fi Channel. That's just enough time to get in a marathon viewing of all your old tapes.
Raiders are retreating. Cassie, try to compute their escape vectors.
Got it.
Grabbed by the Ghoulies is a jolly-looking, spook-laden adventure from ex-Nintendo developer Rare, which sees you take control of Cooper, a boy who's just lost his girlfriend to the ghoulish occupants of Ghoulhaven Hall. Cooper hits and bludgeons the ghostly occupants of this stereotypical scary house, using whatever objects he can lay his hands on. More than 100 different items can be used, mostly sensible items like tables and chairs. However, at certain points of the game, mysterious servants will hand you ghoul-specific weaponry to keep things interesting. A garlic-firing blunderbuss comes in very handy against the hordes of blood-sucking vamps, for instance. And you can also expect mummies, spiders, skeletons, flaming imps, and a host of other oddball creatures, all lining up for a good pounding. Obviously, some enemies go down quicker than others, and your weapon of choice determines how easily you'll wade through reams of baddies. It's not just about running around frantically and smashing lamps into endless hordes of hapless ghouls, though, and it's up to you to try and manage Cooper's fear level throughout the whole ordeal. The pesky spooks jump out of nowhere to scare poor Cooper witless, and when this happens, a mini-game will instantly pop up, where only the correct sequence of button mashing will calm the poor fella down. When he's caught unaware, the camera dramatically zooms round to show his terrified, pant-wetting expression. And he's likely to pass out if the whole nightmare becomes too much. Here, the animation really comes into its own, like an action-packed cartoon of your wildest murder fantasy come true, except in a happy fashion, aimed squarely at the younger members of the Xbox audience. True Crime has just about everything you could possibly ask for. Martial arts, guns, cars, exploration, story, it's all here, and it's gonna be awesome. You play the role of crazy cop Nick Kang, tasked with sorting out a two-gang crime wave that's really screwing up the city of LA. And it doesn't matter how much material damage you do along the way. Even after a brief hand-to-hand encounter, the whole area will be strewn with wreckage, and you can literally smash everything up in sight. Which you will do, of course, because the whole process looks damn cool.
I don't have time for this. Where's the cop?
There's just no end to the amount of stuff that can be trashed in the name of justice. There is a striking resemblance to a few other big-name action franchises here, and while True Crime obviously does the whole GTA crime series thing, there's actually a lot more on offer. Certain aspects, like the driving about and shooting bits, are pretty much the same, but there's a ton of real differences, like the much larger time spent on interior missions and the emphasis on martial arts. Another fundamental difference is your role as a cop, and indiscriminate killing just isn't acceptable unless your victim just happens to have committed a crime, of course. Kill an innocent and your karma goes down a point. Take out a criminal without killing them and you'll get back a point. But it's not just about racking up points, and if you kill indiscriminately, then civil disorder rises and eventually the cops will come after you too. Act all nasty and you'll go down your own branching storyline of skullduggery. Be a good cop and everything will turn out nice. True Crime contains 240 square miles of the city, from the beaches to the Hollywood Hills, and very nice it all looks too. Every pedestrian is highly detailed. Cars don't just buckle when they're hit. Windshields splinter and bonnets wrinkle as if you'd just driven into a gigantic pile-up. It all makes for a great place to explore, and better still, it's filled with deadbeat, low-life scum who deserve a good pounding. Find out next month just how great it all is. Blood Omen 2 was a nasty affair alright, challenging the player to sneak about, performing one-hit kills by knifing enemies in the back of the neck, and then watching their bodies twitch as you sucked them dry. It was a quality, highly polished rehashing of old themes, but given the labyrinth storyline behind the series, Eidos has finally decided it's time to have some fun. Which brings us to Legacy of Kain: Defiance. Quite frankly, we can't be bothered to work out how all this fits into the Blood Omen Soul Reaver storyline at the moment, but it's probably fair to assume that mysterious figures, supernatural goings-on and revenge will feature highly. But we do know that play alternates between the unstoppable badass Kain and the righteous Angel of Death Raziel, the most evil characters in gaming history.
Vampire!
New murderous features include a selection of combo-based moves, providing the ability to juggle your victims in the air before finishing them off with impressive style. But most importantly, the whole premise is brimming with possibilities, and vampires are set to get top billing on Xbox once again. Being bad has never felt so good. BioWare's Jade Empire, a megalithic RPG adventure set in fantasy China, was unveiled for the first time at last month's Tokyo Game Show, and it quite rightly grabbed every Xbox owner's attention. Direct gameplay footage is off limits for the time being, but this intro sequence introduces the magnificent surroundings of the Jade Empire nicely enough, and your character, a devotee to martial and magical arts, looks quite good too. Clearly trying to banish some nightmarish vision of sword-waving evil, you're forced to embark on what is sure to be an enormous journey from the land of howling spirits to the imperial city of the Jade Kingdom, amassing a sizable band of chums to help you along the way.
is next.
BioWare rarely makes any blunders when it comes to releasing games, and if Jade Empire can match the sensational success of Knights of the Old Republic, then it will quite possibly usher in the end of your life before you even know it.
side of the mines and are about to come marching their rusted metal chassis into Droid Town. So, where are my heroes?
Yo, you gonna go for one more?
Okay, stick with Screwed and Hosed here. They'll show you what to do. Now get a move on! Bring it on!
Glitch is a gun-toting robot whose stainless steel Jaxi was created from a pile of scrap metal to counter the evil doings of General Corrosive. Corrosive has enslaved Glitch's race of robots in his newly acquired Dominion and doesn't take too kindly to a tin can upstart on the rampage, enlisting his own army of militia bots to send Glitch back to the scrap heap. The choice of weaponry for dispatching the seemingly limitless supply of militia, or mills as they're referred to, packs a meaty punch. But things really start to take off once you get the control tether weapon and hack away at the exposed ports of other bots. Once you've hacked your way in, shooting enemies in the face becomes a lot easier, as you can fool them into thinking a hacked robot still fights for their side. Visually, it's looking rather splendid too, and battles are an exciting blur of colour and screen-shaking explosions. Destructible parts of the environment can be used to your advantage, and enemies perched precariously on a fragile-looking platform are an open invitation for your preferred sadistic method of destruction. It takes a while to get going, but the smart weapons and vehicles bring a necessary new dimension to the combat. Glitch can pilot a tank and what appears to be a hovercraft type of contraption, fully equipped with a salvage claw and a minigun for dishing out molten metal rounds. So far, there's just enough cool things in Metal Arms to distract you from the largely straightforward and repetitive shoot, jump, shoot style of gameplay. And with some sneaking about, sniping and puzzle-solving elements thrown in for good measure, it's going to be hard finding fault with this quality platform shoot-'em-up. Watch out for the full review next month.
The trees.
Before The Lord of the Rings, there was The Hobbit, a simple tale of the young hobbit Bilbo Baggins and his adventure to defeat the mighty dragon Smaug. The first of Tolkien's works, The Hobbit was written more as a children's tale, hence the cartoony graphics and simple style of the game. But hopefully the game will appeal just as much to adults, much as the book does.
The key!
While the nature of games meant that the plot couldn't be a direct translation of the book, Inevitable Entertainment have gone to considerable effort to ensure that all the key elements are present and that everything else is true to the spirit of the story. That said, there does seem to be a substantial amount of fighting and jumping across chasms, which was presumably dropped from Tolkien's work at some point. Playing as Bilbo, you get to interact with all the major characters, including Gandalf, Thorin the Dwarf, and Bjorn the Skin Changer. And all the key villains have their part to play as well. The trolls from the Misty Mountains, Smaug the Dragon, and sneaking tricksy Gollum.
My precious.
You begin the story in the Shire, as is only right for a hobbit. And it's here that Bilbo gets to practice with the controls and get the hang of adventuring. But it's not long before he's out on the road, solving puzzles and stealing ancient artifacts. The ring found in Gollum's cave adds a new element to the game. After this point, Bilbo gets the option to spend time invisible in order to avoid trouble, albeit only for a limited amount of time. As his adventure progresses, there are plenty of things to keep the little halfling occupied. There's a whole host of treasures to collect, providing extra health or useful items, such as poison antidotes and various specialist throwing rocks. He can also learn additional combat skills, with 3 levels of jump and spin attacks, as well as a selection of sword and staff moves to master. There's even a mini-game called Stone Lords, a strategic trading game that can be played with characters in the game or simply against your friends. Due out in November, it won't be long before you can pick up your walking staff and set foot outside that little round green front door, ready to face the adventure of a lifetime. If you thought the opening Omaha beach landing at the beginning of Medal of Honor Frontline was pretty intense, then cop a load of this. Rising Sun, the Pacific War set sequel, manages to not only outdo its predecessor when it comes to brutality, but also buries it under a pile of bullet-ridden corpses. Taking on the role of Marine Corporal Joseph Griffin, players begin aboard the USS California as the first bombs land home on the morning of December 7th, 1941, the day the Japanese Air Force devastated Hawaii's Pearl Harbor. And from here on, it's a roller coaster ride of sinking ships, Japanese fighter planes, and the sort of chaotic destruction that makes for a great first-person shoot-'em-up experience. All 10 levels are enormous, often double the size of what Frontline had to offer, and allow for multiple route taking. Secondary missions, secret areas, and some stunning set pieces are all woven in as well. So there's a lot more to the proceedings than simply wandering around and admiring the pretty scenery.
They're out there, okay.
As in Frontline, Rising Sun takes the opportunity to team you up with fellow soldiers, but instead of these being faceless men who disappear by the next level, you're teamed up with some major characters who stay with you throughout the game, and each has a vital role to play throughout the story.
No, don't shoot! They kept asking me about this Bromley character, but I didn't know, so they locked me in the bleeding cupboard. Been here for days.
Explosive opening sequence aside, Rising Sun settles into a more established first-person shooter theme, and there are over 20 authentic World War II guns to get to grips with. You get pistols, a sniper rifle, machine guns, and so on. And thanks to a slight reshuffle in the controls department, grenades are now assigned to a separate button from the rest of the weaponry, allowing you to lob them around without having to fiddle around in your inventory to equip them first. Aside from conventional weapons, there's also the chance to see some heavy-duty artillery and blast away at those pesky incoming planes in scenes reminiscent of Frontline. Best of all though, you can even take control of machine gun-mounted elephants. Yes, at certain points in the game, you'll encounter elephants with cannons strapped to their backs, and by jumping onto one of these fellas, you can charge down the enemy with all guns blazing. Every moment we spend with Rising Sun only confirms what a superior improvement over Frontline it really is. Bigger, prettier, and a whole lot more explosive to boot. This is going to be huge, we promise. One thing that has changed significantly since Frontline is the change of enemy, which opens up a whole new kettle of death as you rough it in the jungle. Gone are the pesky Nazis with their annoying habit of sneaking about and chucking back your own grenades. Here in the South Pacific, we're introduced to the Japanese army, and these men not only take you on from a distance, they try their best to ambush you as well. These veterans of the bush often lie in wait, preferring to gut you with their bayonets once you're in range, and the improved AI also adds to the sense of drama, with enemy soldiers diving for cover and searching out suspicious sounds. It all adds a whole new element of strategy to the series, forcing you to stay alert and keep your eyes peeled at all times. Rainbow Six doesn't disappoint. Its strict adherence to the Tom Clancy universe is actually good fun for once, opting for a more arcadey feel that does just about everything right. You always play as the bizarrely named Ding Chavez. You're always commanding the same 3 blokes in your squad, and thankfully, if one of the crew dies, it isn't instantly game over. Lose a man and you carry on until Ding Chavez himself is wasted, and you can go it alone as the sole surviving team member if need be. Send your guys in to clear out a room and they can normally pull it off without getting killed. Of course, they will die quite a bit if you don't look after them, and in blind moments of panic, the chances of shooting one in the back yourself is quite high. So it's essential to spare some thought to your own position and to where you send your men. It's a team game after all, and you're the one in charge.
Threat eliminated.
Choosing the correct tools of the trade before each mission doesn't amount to a great deal of difference, and going with the default option of machine guns and pistols is more than good enough. More important though is your weapon's handling ability. Fire off a machine gun and the recoil knocks you all over the place, so using short controlled bursts is needed. Or you could pick a less accurate gun with less recoil. That part's up to you. Soon you'll fully appreciate the skills required to stay alive, as Rainbow Six really is nails. Stick your head round a corner and you're dead. Blunder your way into a room and you and your team are history. 4 hits is all you can take, or if someone lobs a grenade at you, it's all over in an instant. And there are no health packs anywhere, of course, because that just doesn't happen in real life. The missions themselves are a little on the uninspiring side. The first 4 are hostage rescue and bomb disposal affairs, and each scenario presents you with harder enemies and then harder enemies still. They do react unpredictably to your sounds though, and while you're gunning away in one corridor, they're lying in wait, blissfully unaware of your presence just around the corner. Overall, it's easier to get into than most team war games, and a great place to start if you're looking for a massive new challenge. Yes, it's bloody hard, not half as bad as Splinter Cell mind, and you'll need to take it slow to avoid instant death. But once you've overcome this minor hurdle, you'll find an impressive, accessible shooter that offers more depth than most, and it comes fully loaded with Xbox Live. Ordering your team of 3 men around is easy enough via the button command system.
Move. Roger. Moving now.
But for the fully connected gamer, Rainbow Six makes excellent use of the Xbox Live headset.
Open, frag and clear.
Roger. Open, frag and clear.
You get standard commands for move and regroup, but when it comes to clearing a room, a string of more specific commands can be issued.
Move.
Roger, moving now. Threat neutralized.
Regroup.
Coming to you. In formation. Police!
Move.
Roger, moving now.
Shout the open and clear command and your team will simply open the door and nail everything in sight.
Open and clear.
Roger, open and clear. Hostile down. Hostile eliminated. Clear.
Move. Move.
Threat eliminated.
Regroup.
On the way. With you, sir.
Open, flash and clear brings a flash grenade into the equation, and breach and clear is basically forcing your entrance in the unstealthiest way imaginable.
Open, flash and clear.
Roger.
Bark these orders through the headset and your team will run off in whatever direction your crosshair is facing, carrying out your orders in what feels like the coolest game ever.
Fire! Hostile down. Clear. Waiting for orders.
Open and clear.
Roger.
Finally, the Xbox Faithful has a team-based strategy game with a great voice recognition system and intuitive team commands. The whole thing works perfectly right from the off.
Fire! Neutralized. Hostile eliminated. Clear. Waiting for orders.
Regroup.
On the way. Got your 60. Man down! I see you! He is down!
I died.
This is an international children's charity, so all eyes are on us. The first hostage is somewhere on the second floor.
If you don't have access to Xbox Live just yet, then what could be more rewarding than you and a friend waging war against terrorists, rescuing hostages, and working together as a team via the superb multiplayer system link option? The smarter method of play is to send your team member in first and cover their ass yourself, up a nice crossfire action in the process. This way you avoid getting hit, they hopefully don't get wiped out, and you both survive to meet the next awaiting challenge. Xbox is hardly bristling with quality football titles at the moment, and to its credit, FIFA Football 2004 tries desperately hard to improve this sorry situation. For starters, it boasts a brand new career mode that lets you manage a team for 10 consecutive seasons, buying and selling players and fiddling with their training regimes. And while it's a nice idea that fleshes out the content a bit, there's no escaping the lack of international competitions like the World Cup or European Championships. The team formations are definitely more structured this time, and players link up better now. But what's the point when the Uncharted back four is so organised that it's virtually impossible to break through? It's one thing to make scoring a goal a challenge, and another altogether to have a game where 0-0 is constantly the even money bet. You get the usual immaculate range of fully licensed teams, players, competitions, kits, and so on. And the presentation drips with TV-style class. The stadiums are breathtaking, the players even more realistic, and the animations smooth as ever. It all looks absolutely stunning, and FIFA Football 2004 certainly isn't going to lose its reputation as the most graphically pleasing sports game anytime soon. The first thing that really annoys us about FIFA is the controls. Maybe it's because Pro Evolution Soccer's control system is such an embedded feature of our daily lives, but ultimately we just couldn't get to grips with the setup. Like any self-respecting footy player, we wanted to change the controls around and assign the shoot command to the X button, where we know it should be.
Oh, it's a penalty. Let's see who gets the charge of that.
And you'd have thought FIFA would bend over backwards to try and win over the Pro Evolution Massive, but with no option to alter the button setup, it's just never going to happen. Comparing FIFA's button layout with a game from a completely different system might be a little unfair, but the controls are still far from perfect. What is it really a good idea to have shoot and tackle sharing the same button? Too many times we've gone for a tackle only to suddenly gain possession and punt the ball out of play, and all because the game couldn't work out at what point to change from tackling and shooting. And just how annoying is that?
I'll be really surprised if the whole team can come back from this. It's a disastrous start for them. So the score's level 1 each now then.
Off-the-ball control is FIFA Football 2004's big new selling point, and the only real major advancement over last year's edition. This new feature allows you to maneuver players not directly in possession. So while controlling one player and lining up the trajectory of a cross with the right stick, for instance, you can then waggle the left stick and steal a yard or two with the second player before the ball comes over.
Hold all the cards now.
It's a nice idea in theory, but far too complicated for its own good. If you think controlling 2 analog sticks at once sounds complicated, that's because it is. By the time you put your head around who's playing the ball, the ruthless defense has already broken your attack down. Predictably, it's little more than a gimmick, and after a while you'll soon discover that taking chances from a distance is an easier option, even if it does mean that only 1 shot in every 5 heads goalwards. It wouldn't be FIFA without Motti and McCoist delivering pearls of wisdom throughout the glorious game, and thankfully they're both on hand and certainly on top form. The commentary is pretty much spot on, with the duo providing interesting, funny and informative speech throughout. Ali's tactical observations always start and end with cliches, while Motti's witterings always raise a smile, and it's especially good for the small, choice bits of wisdom that will crack you up beyond belief.
Oh, now here's a real scoring chance. Defenders all over the shot. That's a foul.
But overall, there are times when even the comical twitterings of Motti and McCoy struggle to raise a smile.
Not a fair challenge, says the referee as he hands out the yellow card. Here we go then. Over the wall and away from the goalkeeper.
Oh, it's hard to get to that side of the goal, John. Just ask the keeper.
So level at 1-1 here then. Punched away, great save. He knocked the ball away wonderfully well there with the slide. Can he get a shot in? They've taken the lead.
And he keeps it down. There were a few celebrations on the bench when that went in.
Bravo team, move!
This month we really have gone crazy over the possible new leader of all Xbox war games. Here for your viewing pleasure is almost 10 minutes of THQ's latest tactical combat shooter, Full Spectrum Warrior.
Alpha team, move!
Got some action over here.
If you haven't heard the spiel already, Full Spectrum Warrior was originally commissioned by the US Army as an essential combat training tool for their fledgling military types. Obviously, the official military version is super realistic, but the revised civilian variant you're looking at here is still without doubt the most realistic portrayal of infantry-level urban warfare ever devised.
Under fire! Bravo team, go!
combat shooters, you're always in charge of the same team of 3 blokes, happily switching between men as each one expires until the game's over.
Ceasefire! Alpha team. Leader,
Reloading. The heat's on over here. Got some action over here. Fire.
Not so with Full Spectrum Warrior. By utilizing a unique tactical decision-making interface, the user takes direct command over 2 squads, Alpha and Bravo, moving your teams from location to location via a series of general commands instead of direct control over an individual grunt.
Under fire! Leader, sir! I'm under fire! Got some action! I'm under fire!
Using the left control stick, on-screen movement indicators appear that guide the position of your troops as you move from one area to the next, setting up areas of fire as you go.
Move!
Place this indicator behind a vehicle, down an alleyway or up against a wall for instance, and your primary team will take up position, with your point man peeking around the corner to identify any potential hostilities. Once a firefight kicks off, you can bring forward your secondary team to provide covering fire and backup. Move your teams into zone and they'll automatically carry out your orders, shifting positions to get a clear shot at the enemy and lobbing grenades when the situation arises.
Bravo! Team leader, move out! Alpha team. TL here. Move out. Direct fire. Leader, sir. Yes. Bravo. Move out. Team leader. Leader, sir. Bravo team, move. Got a leader over here. Direct fire, at my mark. Yes, sir. Taking fire. Alpha, move out. Team leader, sir. Taking fire. Enemy spotted. Go. Leader, sir. Change eclipse.
You can see the throwing system in use here, which appears as a red arc on screen, displaying the distance between your position and where the grenade should finally land. The level of intelligence displayed by both teams really is something to applaud, and their constant state of alertness creates a genuine theatre of war atmosphere as they continuously check the status of their teammates, the surrounding area, and any possible exit points.
Direct fire now! Yes! Action!
Order one of the teams to cross to the other side of the street during a firefight, for instance, and rather than all crossing together, they take it in turns, moving forward in pairs while the backup provides covering fire. Of course, there will be times when the enemy will be in such a position that your primary squad will be unable to effectively cause any life-threatening damage. When this occurs, a green arrow will highlight which squad has the advantage, with a red arrow signifying a less promising position. This may not seem a realistic element of modern warfare, but it does ensure that gameplay remains continuous and fluid at all times.
Rifleman anyone here? M203 at your service.
Full Spectrum Warrior really is an exciting fusion of genres, and what you're actually playing here is more real-time strategy than third-person shooter. It promises a whole new angle over most team-based war games, and will be a great place to start if you're looking for a massive new challenge in the wargaming department.
Direct fire, sir. Affirmative. Taking fire!
I need some coffee or something.
Light fire coming in! I'm changing clip. Under fire! Got some action! Taking fire! Got some action! Later! Got some action! Level team! Taking fire! Getting shot at, sir! Direct fire! That's affirmative. Under fire! Taking fire! Go! Direct fire! Right on. Yeah. Fire coming in! Bravo team! Leader, sir. Move. Team leader, sir. Bad guy. Change your clips. Wait a second. Point fire. Getting some flak over here. Taking fire. Reloading. Give me a minute. Grenadier. Enemy target. Front. Direct fire to my here. Bravo. Go. Team leader. Leader, sir. Deal here. Alpha team. Team leader, move sir. Out. Direct fire. Leader, sir. Affirmative. Direct fire. Here. Bravo team, move.
And 6 right 70, 6 left 50, turn 3 right onto gravel, and 4 left, into 4 right, and 6 left 30, long 4 right, 50, 4 left, into crest 30 care, 3 left, tightens over crest, 3's outside, and 6 left into, 6 right over jump into, long 5 right, tightens, don't cut, 3 outside, into crest 30, 6 left over crest, 50, bumps, into big jump, 30, 6 left and care, straight crest, and 5 right. Into 6 left, 50, 6 left over crest, left over jump into 6 left and right, into crest and long 5 right tightens, and 4 left over jump, and 6 right into 3 left opens long, and care 3 right don't cut, 50, keep left over crest and 5 right don't cut, 30, 5 left over jump, and 5 right cut, and 6 left into jump, 50, 6 left and 5 right, 70, long 3 right, 30, 5 left tighten, and 4 right, and 3 left, into 6 left, and 6 right, don't cut, into care long 2 left, into long 5 right over crest tightens, and long 6 left, into 5 left and care long 3 right tightens, 70, long 3 left tightens, and long 3 right opens to long 4 tightens to 3, and 2 left. Left over bump, straight 100, 6 left past junction, 34 left, 120, 4 left, and 6 right into 6, 35 right over bump, opens, 6 left and long 6 right, into jump and 3 left over crest, 30 long 6 left over crest, into right and 5 left, and long 6 right, very long 6 left, into 6 left over crest into care turn 4 left through gate, 36 right over crest and 4 left into long 2 right, and 6 left into, long 4 right tightens into care 2 left over crest don't cut, into 2 left, into care 2 left don't cut, and long 5 right don't cut, and 2 left don't cut, into long 3 right and caution 2 left tightens don't cut, rock outside, and 3 right, into 6 left and turn hairpin left. Very long 6 right tightens, and 6 left into 4 right, and turn 2 left, very long 4 right tightens, 5 left over crest, don't cut, 30. Long 4 left, tightens to 3. 30 open hairpin right. 30 very long, 6 left, tightens, keep middle. Into 6 right, 30, 6 left, keep out, tightens to 5. 30 long, 6 right, tightens to 3, opens. Into 6 left. And 6 right into long, 4 left. 50 long, 5 right. 36 left into K, long 6 right, tightens to 4. 50 very long 6 left. Into 4 right. Long 6 left. 36 right. Into 6 left, tightens to 3. Into long 5 right and 4 right. And long 4 left, tightens to 3, narrows. And 6 right over crest, opens. 5 right, tightens and long 4 left, don't cut. 30 care 2 left. And long 3 right, 50. 6 right into 3 left over bridge. And 6 right, 70. Turn and 3 left. Long 2 right. Into 6 left, 70. 6 left, keep in and long 5 right. 36 left, 50. Long 3 left. Into long 6 right. And 4 left, 50. 6 left, cut, and 4 right, cut. Into 6 left and long 5 left. Into long 3 right. 36 left and very long 5 right, tightens.
Since the discovery of their existence, mutants have been regarded with fear, suspicion, often hatred. Are they the next link in the evolutionary chain, or simply a new species of humanity, fighting for their share of the world?
I keep feeling something terrible is about to happen.
X-Men universe is like, in the film world, is like the comic world. You tell a story and then the story evolves. The word saga, I guess, comes more to mind.
In X2,
We know the world, we know the characters, so we can just have a hell of a lot more fun.
It's going to be a bit more complex. I think that now we've introduced these characters, and now that we've established that, we can see these characters in action.
There is a very dramatic incident in Washington, D.C.
And this sparks a change in attitude in government and fear, and enables William Stryker, the human villain of the story, to have certain liberties.
Now, Mr. Lansher, I'd like to have one final talk about the house that Xavier built.
Magneto is certainly in the thick of it, and the argument continues between him and Xavier as to what is the best way of dealing with the future of the mutants. Should it be all-out revolution, or should it be something a little bit more tempered?
Eric, what have you done? So we now have a sort of three-cornered conflict here. There's Magneto with his point of view here, Xavier with his, and then William Stryker representing the hostile, antagonistic human world.
He sees the mutants as a threat, and now is the time to act. You know, now we've got to stop them.
What do you need, William?
Just your authorization for special operations.
One of the most important storylines in the X-Men saga has been the story of Wolverine. His origins, his lack of memory. So he is in constant search for this past.
Who are you? Don't you remember?
The clues are starting to come together. By the end of the movie, he gets a pretty darn good idea about what his past is all about. Whether or not he gets retribution for it, you'll have to go and see the movie to see.
As if we didn't have enough to do with 8 or 9 characters, we're bringing more.
We brought in one of the most beloved characters, a character named Nightcrawler.
I play Nightcrawler, who is this blue mutant, but his special skill is I can teleport. He looks quite odd. He's got a tail and he's got funny claws and pointy ears and pointy teeth and yellow eyes. And I mean, it's like 3 or 4 hours in makeup, depending how well I behave.
The character that I play is called Yuriko Oyama / Lady Deathstroke. And I am sort of a more advanced version of Wolverine.
The X-Kids do get quite a featuring, role in this. Particularly the character of Iceman.
Have you tried not being a mutant?
And Pyro.
The next time you feel like showing off, don't.
X2 is a much more romantic movie. I mean, in the X-Men 1, people were, passing numbers. Now they're actually going on dates.
We have 2 romances going on. One is between Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Wolverine.
And the first one for the character was that she sort of had this love triangle situation that she was involved in, and in the second one, we're taking that a step further. We're kind of taking it to a different level.
Girls flirt with the dangerous guy, Logan. You don't take him home. You married a good guy.
I could be the good guy.
Our other love story is with Rogue and Iceman.
Rogue in this movie has a boyfriend, which is slightly complex given her inability to be able to touch anyone without killing them.
And then Mystique shows a bit of her seductive side.
She's a sexy character, and I think I tried to play that up a little bit more in this one.
No one's ever left a scar quite like you.
What do you want, an apology?
You know what I want. But what do you want?
I think X-Men fans can look forward to more of just about everything they liked before, and then in a whole additional group of effects that are bigger, broader, more exciting.
If you like the first film, you're going to like the second even more, because there's more. There are more characters, there's more action.
X2 stands on its own. It is a movie that you can walk into the theater not even knowing the world of X-Men and enjoy it.
I have a strong sense that fans and cinema goers are really looking forward to what the leap forward is going to be now with this movie.
So get ready.
A nose? You lose a race of nose, you better fall off trying. To the future.
Brett Pollard, Mr. Howard. Hi.
Hello.
Of course, it's nuts. I'm not afraid of you.
Every horse is good for something. You don't throw a whole life away just 'cause it's banged up a little.
Seems pretty fast.
Yeah, in every direction. He just needs to learn how to be a horse again.
How far do you want me to take him?
Till he stops.
Let's see what you got, boy.
What, fast? Your horse just broke the track record at Tamfran.
Well, I just think this horse has a lot of heart.
Golly, even money that this nag Seabiscuit couldn't even finish 6 furlongs.
I told you, look out for Rosemont. It's not my fault. You thought he was flying up your tail. Yeah, well, I can't. What? See out there.
He lied to us. He's blind in one eye.
You don't throw a whole life away just because it's banged up a little bit.
The odds were incredible.
Our horse is too small. Our jockey's too big.
The dream was impossible.
Everybody loses a couple, and you either pack up and you go home or you keep fighting.
And the story is true.
Kind of small, isn't he? Gonna look a lot smaller in a second, Georgie.
Tobey Maguire, Academy Award nominee Jeff Bridges, Academy Award winner Chris Cooper.
Don't stop, boy. Don't ever stop.
Seabiscuit. Based on a true story.
You and your family will be cursed for always and eternity.
Walt Disney Pictures brings the award-winning book to life.
Louis Sacker has written one of the classic books of all time. Everybody dreams of finding the great book to make a movie out of, and I think that I was lucky enough to find it.
My name is Stanley Yelnats. Everyone in my family names their son Stanley because it's Yelnats backwards. All my life, I seem to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. My grandpa, Stanley Yelnats II, says it's all because of this 150-year-old curse.
It was all because of your no-good, dirty, rotten, pig-stealing great-great-grandfather.
There's no curse on this family.
There is on the men in this family.
It's basically about this kid's journey through his family curse. Everything's just happening to him at once.
Welcome to Camp Green Lake.
Where's the lake? Camp Green Lake is a dangerous place.
Did you tell him about the lizards?
They're venomous and they'll bite you and you die.
You don't bother them, they won't bother you. Usually.
The lizards. I love the lizards. I had about, I'd say 4 on me in one of the scenes. If one's on top of you, you cannot move. Ah! Stay here.
And you have to deal with 3 or 4 adults who are pretty quirky.
My name is Mr. Sir. Wore to dig 1 hole each day, 5 foot deep, 5 foot in diameter.
When the fella comes to camp, he thinks he's with the world's toughest man, which is me. And then he just hasn't met the really toughest person in the world, which is the warden.
That's the #1 rule at Camp Green Lake. Do not upset the warden.
Her reputation is fierce. Maybe we should just shoot him.
These are 3 people who are looking for treasure for their own wealth. And in fact, they've got all these young kids working for them, doing this all day.
What do you say we dig 1 more hole?
What is that?
What'd you find?
It's a wonderful puzzle piece, this movie. There are great pieces where you go, what does this have to do with that? And then as the movie evolves, you find out, now I get it.
And it's also an adventure story, a good adventure story.
I think I might have found something.
It was a great joy to bring this story to life and to finally be in my daughter's favorite book.
Found half-mile from here. They were killed with a hatchet in a ritualistic fashion. At this point, we're not sure how many killers there were.
Just one. Well, you're saying that one guy with a knife killed those 2 hunters?
Yeah. I trained him. Trained him to survive.
I will teach you how to kill. Quickly, accurately, efficiently.
Sergeant Hallam is unofficially listed as missing in action. As far as the world is concerned, Aaron Hallam doesn't exist. He's a killing machine.
I made him what he is, and I can stop him.
I don't even know what you do for a living. Everything you told me was a lie.
You better decide now what's an acceptable body count.
If you cross this line, you better be ready to kill me.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? You know, for a second there, yeah, I kind of did.
lads. Touch wood, Mr. Blakeney. Turn 3 times. May the Lord of Saints preserve.
Simon Bell, ahoy! All hands down!
Mr. Brackenhouse.
You're in very good hands. 7 weeks sailing, and he happened on our exact position.
Well, then perhaps he was looking for us.
Damn, he was good.
An act of war will cripple them.
With basic repairs, we can get home as we are.
We're not going home.
The power of nature will threaten them.
Our enemy has more than twice our guns, more than twice our numbers, and we are supposed to stop it.
Torn between fulfilling his duty
Captain's not called Lucky Jack for no reason. Phantom or no, Lucky Jack will have her.
and the lives of the men he commands,
Steady!
he must face the invincible.
He fights like you, Jack. A hunter becomes the hunted.
Well then, there's not a moment to lose.
2 feet 6 inches, sir. The men would follow you anywhere. But as a friend, I would say that we should have turned back weeks ago.
It's leadership they want. Strength. Find that within yourself, and you will earn their respect. When we board, you'll take command of the ship.
Take command of the ship. Thank you, sir.
For home! And for the prize!
See you afterwards.
Let's fly!
So you wanna play? You'll see my game's on fire, but we don't play the same game. You'll see I'm greedy for speed, and neutral means nothing to me. So if that's your desire, we'll get along famously. But one thing I like to lead, I light 'em up before the motor starts. I go so fast that I can never stop. Look under the hood, but you don't know what I got. I'm a moving violation, baby. Hot, 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 hot. I light 'em up before the motor starts. I go so fast that I can never stop. Look under the hood, but you don't know what I got. I'm a moving violation, baby. Hot, 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 hot.
Since the beginning of time, man has loved to race. Man's every leap in technology only created further opportunities to compete against each other and test the limits of speed. And then, man took to the air. And now, the sky becomes the arena for the greatest race of them all, a competition that has drawn entrants from all walks of life, from several different tax brackets, from every rounded corner of the globe, all gathered for this monumental event in the world of aviation. All of these pilots and many, many more will fill the sky in the Freaky Flyers race. So what are you waiting for? Jump in your plane and get freaky!
you were big!
Welcome to Montreal, Quebec for this game at the Bell Center. Hi everybody, Tim Kitzrow, my good friend Harry Tynowitz in the booth with me. We've got some good hockey, so let's get to it. Jokinen is successful on the draw. He plays it to Jokinen. A save! Now played to Bulis. The puck stolen by Huselius. Huselius takes control of the puck. Huselius! Jokinen gets the first goal of the game!
Good.
You barely have your feet on the ground, and look what's happened.
Our one and only armored vehicle has been turned to scrap before you could even test it out.
I'll get our camp set up right away. We'll start hunting first thing in the morning.
Sick of knocking 7 bells out of marauding monsters? Then why not try preserving them instead? It hardly sounds like fun, but if you're looking for something a bit different from the usual gaming norm, this might well be worth a look. Lost World species have conveniently turned up in a remote corner of the 20th century, and collecting bounty for successful capture turns the traditional pursuit of hunting on its head.
Gotcha.
Each mission tasks you with a giant lumbering target to track down, along with some lesser sporting opportunities to bag along the way. Best of all though, there's a fair bit of dino dung investigation to undertake if you're to successfully track their presence. Dinosaur hunting dares to be different, and games like this are a one-of-a-kind release. It's hardly going to attain legendary gaming status when it finally wings its way over from Japan, but at least it tries to be original.
Hi, my name is BJ Bernhardt. I've been skating for a long time. Ride for Rollerblade, Crap Bearings, and 616 Clothing. Throughout the years of my skating, been just doing my own thing. Basically, it all started back in Redwood City, just paying my dues, just skating. Who would have thought that it would bring it to a video game character? When you're playing my character, make sure that you're coming with tight-ass lines, make sure you're coming with some creativeness, make sure that you're coming with stuff that maybe you might see me doing in old videos, or something that you might want to see that maybe I can live up to one day. Kids, just keep rolling. Skate for yourself. Don't skate to impress people, skate to create. That's, definitely a good thing. sum it all up, you've seen what I got. Hope you got juice watching me. Why don't you show me what you got now? And maybe one day you can step up to the plate and we'll go out and skate together. Until then, peace.
Competing with guys, it's fun. I mean, every time I watch them, it just inspires me to learn and maybe like progress in my sport. In the beginning, it was kind of hard because it's a lot of pressure, but right now I feel pretty good. I mean, it just motivates me to do better, you know, and push myself. My favorite thing to do is I like flat spins. I mean, it's pretty fun when I learned. I like going high for airs. And I like a couple of tricks. Like I like grinding also. I think I'm good at grinding. My favorite skater, vert skater, Sessa. I don't know. I just look up to him a lot since I started skating. And I used to watch videos and stuff, you know. And then we became a good friends and everything. We skate together all the time. He just motivates me to learn new tricks and he's always like pushing me to learn, you know.
Holy shit.